guys, so I'm here today to do my March book haul. I'm actually going to be uploading 2 March book hauls because I have a separate birthday book haul. Together all the books I got in March added up to just a bit too many so I thought I would put the ones that were birthday gifts in a separate video so you can look forward to that, but in the meantime I've got a wee pile of books to show you here, so let's get straight into it, shall we? In no particular order, the first book I have to show you is a rough guide. It's the Rough Guide to Rome. This is the first rough guide or travel book I've actually ever bought for myself. My parents have quite a big selection of rough guides themselves, so I usually have just borrowed them from them if I've been going on holiday. But my boyfriend and I booked a trip to Rome, which will be our first holiday together, and it's actually my 4th visit to Rome, although the first time I was about 6, so have pretty much no memory of the trip really. And he's never been, so I'm really excited to go together. See some things again, see some new things, and kind of share a city that I really love with somebody else. So I decided I would treat myself to the latest edition of the Rome Rough Guide, which was published this year, so super up to date. And this is just basically full of things to do, places to eat, maps of the different districts, opening hours of different sites and museums, and I think they usually also have some vocabulary, like Italian. Yes, it has a little bit of Italian in the back to help you get around. Yeah, so I got myself a rough guide. My parents have always used rough guides, so I trust them. That's why I went for the rough guide over the Lonely Planet, although I did sit in the Cafe of Waterstones for a good 15 minutes trying to make up my mind. Next is a book that was sent to me by Bloomsbury. I requested it specifically after seeing Mercedes over on Mercy's Bookish Musings channel talk about it, and that is The Last Illusion by Porakista Kakpur. Sorry if that was a complete butchering. This is a book about a young boy who is born with albinism, and his mother locks him up in a cage like a bird, so he spends his childhood locked up in a cage like an animal, and it's about his life after this traumatizing childhood experience, and I'm just really intrigued to see where it goes. It sounds very dark. Hopefully it's been done really well, and yeah, I hope I like this one. Now, another book I requested from the publishers for a specific video, and it is Eratosthenes and Hyginus, Constellation Myths with Eratosthenes Phenomena. This was sent to me by Oxford World Classics. I actually specifically requested this for a video. I'm going to do all about reading ancient Greek and Roman myths, so look out for that. But this is a book about the different constellations in the sky and the kind of origin myths, the myths of the different gods and characters of mythology and how they intertwine. So definitely one to check out if you're looking for some ancient mythology. I then have 2 collections of short stories. The first I'm so excited for. I first saw this on Jen from Jen Campbell's channel, and when the publicist contacted me to see if I wanted a review copy, I snapped up the opportunity because it sounds fantastic, and it is Reader, I Married Him, Stories Inspired by Jane Eyre, edited by Tracy Chevalier. Tracy Chevalier is the author of The Girl with the Pearl Earring, you might have heard of, it's quite a famous one, and this is a collection of short stories all by different authors, all inspired by Jane Eyre, as the title implies, and it includes authors like Emma Donoghue, who's one of my absolute favourites. I also recognise names like Audrey Niffenegger in here. It's a really well-known selection of authors, and I adore Jane Eyre, so I'm really excited to read some short stories based on it. I know a little bit less about the short story collection I have to show you next though, and this was sent to me by Faber, and it is Multitudes, 11 Stories by Lucy Caldwell, and these are all short stories about growing up. Other than that, I don't know too much about it, so hopefully it introduces me to a new favourite author. Moving on to the non-fiction, I have 3 books here to show to you. The first one was sent to me by Oxford University Press, and it is very exciting. It is Democracy, A Life by Paul Cartledge. Paul Cartledge is a very famous ancient historian. He's written quite a prolific selection of non-fiction work. He's quite well known for his book on Sparta, and this is a new book by him all about the history of democracy, 2,500 years from the invention of democracy in ancient Athens to the here and now, and all the different forms it's taken in, what that word has kind of developed to mean, how it's changed in different countries, because the democracy we live under, say in Britain, is quite far from the democracy of ancient Athens. But yeah, a topic I really find very interesting and an author I really like, so looking forward to this one. I then have Sara Pascoe's Animal, the autobiography of a female body. This was sent to me by Faber. I didn't know too much about the author, but when Faber contacted me I looked her up because I thought the premise of the book sounded very interesting. It's about the way women's bodies are treated and perceived in the media. So I looked her up, watched some of her stuff, thought she was really funny, she's a comedian, and yeah, I really liked her, so I thought I would check out her book, especially since I'm trying to read more non-fiction. And since then I also saw a video on Hannah Witton's channel where Hannah chats with Sara Pascoe, and it was such a fantastic video, so I'm just all the more excited to read this book now. I think I'm going to pick it up very, very soon because of that video. I then have a book that you will not be surprised to see because it was in my most anticipated releases of 2016 video, and it's another non-fiction book, and it is And the Weak Suffer What They Must by Yanis Varoufakis. This was sent to me by Vintage. Yanis Varoufakis is a Greek economist and somebody I greatly admire. This book is all about the economic crash in Europe, particularly Greece's place in that, and kind of where we are going from there, what's been done since then and what could be done in the future. Yeah, in fact, the subtitle is The Story of a Crisis and Its Future. But all in all, sounds very fascinating, and I just think Yanis Varoufakis is a very intelligent man, and I'm looking forward to reading his take on things. So hopefully this one lives up to the hype I have given it in my head. And I have one last book to show you before I move on to some poetry pamphlets, and that is Jenny Fagan's The Sunlight Pilgrims. It's published by Penguin Random House, and I believe this is set in a world where things are kind of starting to fall apart, not that far from our own world. There's kind of extreme weather conditions in different areas. The description on the inside does it better justice than I could, and that is set in a Scottish caravan park during a freak winter. It is snowing in Jerusalem, the Thames is overflowing, and an iceberg is expected to arrive off the coast of Britain. The Sunlight Pilgrims tells the story of a small community living through what people have begun to think is the end of time. I also believe there might be a bit of a love story in this, but sounds really great, got a gorgeous cover, so hopefully what's inside is just as beautiful. But then I said I had some poetry pamphlets to show you, and I have 5 poetry pamphlets here, all from Dancing Girl Press. I don't really know much about any of these, I haven't read any of them yet. I picked all of them based on the poetry extracts on the Small Press's website. I really enjoyed the extracts on there, so thought I would give these poets a shot. I did actually order these about 2 months ago, they took ages to get here. I was kind of expecting them to, they came from the US. But just so you know before you order them, if you are outside the US, they will take a while to get to you. But, I mean, that didn't bother me, I was quite happy to wait. The ones I have are Not of Their Own Making by Alice Bensel, got a mermaid, and The Baby Gods Sprout Like Milkweed by Faye Dremuck, Almost Delicious by Katie Porter, How to Mend a Broken Heart with Vengeance by Leigh Stein, the unicorn. And lastly we have My Visions Are As Real As Your Movies, Joan of Arc Says to Rudolph Valentino by Kyle Laws. The main reason I even bothered looking at this one on their website was because this image here is from Pompeii in Italy, and I just recognised it and was like, oh, what's that? But those are all the books I was sent by publishers or bought myself in the month of March, or bought myself in like January and received in March. Like I said, I'll be filming my birthday book haul very, very soon, so look out for that, and until next time guys, happy reading. I'll see you all again soon. Bye!